Well, what do you say? The more things change, the more they remain the same. So we now learn that there are 2 locally acquired COVID cases since midnight, both from a Southbank apartment complex in Melbourne, the Kings Park apartment complex, 2 cases near the Crown Casino. Not a word about whether they're serious or mild. So all residents in the complex are in lockdown for the next 14 days. I'm afraid I don't have words anymore for this kind of nonsense. Everything is locked down, 2 cases. So wedding and event planners have taken to the steps of the Victorian Parliament to call for a faster easing of restrictions on their industry. One event planner rightly says people can't book weddings with any confidence due to sudden lockdowns. Now, these businesses are crippled, losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's not a word of apology, no syllable of compensation, and not one piece of paper available to the public which justifies what they are doing. If there are 6 new cases associated with the building, why can't we be told whether they're mild or serious? I'll tell you why we can't be told. It's because they're not serious, and that doesn't suit the fear agenda. Each story, each report is a desperate attempt to sustain fear. And what about the cost? Not to business, that's in the billions. Each test, as I understand it, is around $100. There have been around 19 million tests Australia-wide. That's 1.9 billion. And then the vaccines are paid for by the taxpayer. What's that cost? Something else they won't tell us. Do we keep testing in the hope that we'll be able to go on with this fear, lockdown, social distancing, masks, when today there are 173 infected patients across the country? 1 is serious. How much longer can politicians and health officials sustain the fear and alarmism without telling us the truth? The one truth about all others is that politicians and their masters, health officials, surrender nothing. Not a cent. From the outset, not a cent. They've just sent others broke and destroyed people, emotionally and psychologically. The damage to young people is incalculable. The Prime Minister last week said, and I quote, resilience, strength, character, determination, that's what beats a virus, not fear. Not fear? When you lock down a whole city for a handful of cases and make people wear masks and treat every case as if someone is going to die, what do you mean, not fear? This is the only currency we've dealt with in 15 months. A recent report by the Victorian Agency for Health Information called Mental Health, Alcohol and Other Drug Treatment Services found that in the 6-week period till March 28, average weekly emergency department presentations for children aged up to 17 reached 319. There was a 51% increase in the number of teenagers rushed to hospital after self-harming and suffering suicidal thoughts. Is no politician held accountable for this? From the outset, over 99% of cases have been mild. The political rhetoric, as I've said many times, has always suggested that coronavirus operates in 3 stages. Get tested because you're told you have to, test positive, and then go and get a hammer and nails and build yourself a coffin. As George Orwell said, the further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. I am speaking the truth when I tell you, as I have now for 15 months, that the response to this coronavirus is out of all proportion to the risk it poses. Well may George Orwell say, the further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it.